Welcome, Virgo. Welcome to my channel. I'm Dee, and this is Intuitive Life Advice. I am going to do a reading for you all today called Troubled Love, and it's for the month of July 2021. I use my own decks that I create myself, and I don't use anyone else's decks. I trust only my own sense of knowing and my own source. And I also shuffle all of my cards thoroughly offline while I'm concentrating on the energy of the sign I'm about to read for. But I will shuffle all of these one more time just so that you can see that they are being shuffled. And we're going to start with that deck, so I'll leave it there. It's the Divine Grace deck. It helps us walk through the steps of a bad relationship so that we can come out on the other end a much better person even than we were when we got into the bad relationship. And it helps us heal from all the trauma and the hurt and the pain, the sorrow, and everything bad that comes with a bad relationship. Okay. Please help me grow my channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. There is a beautiful storm going on right now outside my window here, right in time for your reading. And Taurus also got some of the storm in their reading. I just finished theirs. If that's of importance to you, you may want to watch that reading as well. I feel like I need one more here. Okay, what I'm doing here now is we're going to choose 3 cards from this deck. And the first one is going to tell us where we've been within this relationship that has caused us to show up in our current situation, the current energy that we're in currently, right now, today. What happened to us recently that caused us to be there? That's what this card will represent, and it is fragmentation. Now, where are we currently? Healing. That is fantastic. And where are we headed if we continue in this same mindset that we're in now? Euphoria. Now, that's an interesting combination of cards. What we're going to do here is start with this one. Fragmentation is where you came from. This is the energy that you were in that led you into this healing state that you're in right now. And this fragmentation stage could have been last week. It could have been a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It just depends on each one individually. And this is a general reading. I know that you hear that all the time, but it's true. A general reading pulls the energy of some people who are open to it. And if you want a more personal, private reading that expands, you'll need to contact me. The information on that is in that description box. Now, whatever happened to you kind of tore you apart. I wanted to say tore you to pieces, and that may be of significance to someone. But whenever you're in the fragmentation stage, you are just disoriented. You can't make decisions. You can't concentrate. You can't focus. You can't finish something. You can't start something. It's like you're just kind of in a state of paralyzed energy where you're just unable to function. And that can be in any state of your, any part of your life in particular. Like if you sit down to pay the bills, it's like it's just a major task for you to gather all that information and organize it in a way that you can complete that task. Now that all comes from being in a relationship that causes you to doubt yourself. A little bit of cognitive dissonance would contribute to that. Abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse, any of it. It all puts you in a state of where you're kind of in between worlds. You're like in your life, but you're not really in it. You pull yourself out of your own life, and it leaves you in a state of fragmentation where you just feel like you need to crawl around on the floor and try to pick up the pieces. It's kind of like trying to find a contact lens that fell out in the middle of the night in the forest. I mean, can you imagine trying to find a contact lens in the forest? There's so much. There are rocks and twigs and nuts and just so much texture to feel on the forest floor that there's no way you would feel anything such as a delicate contact lens. So my point here is that's how hard it is for you to pick up the pieces of yourself when you're in a relationship like that, when you're in a bad relationship that's abusive in some way. They gaslight you. They cause you to doubt yourself, your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own visions, your own suggestions, your own choices, your own decisions. You don't trust anything that comes out of your mouth or that you conjure up in your mind. It's like you're just sitting there in a chair like a vegetable. You're not living. That's where you came from. That's where you came from, Virgo. This is a pretty serious card. Now, currently it's showing that you're in a state of healing. So you have really come a long way out of this fragmentation energy. And what I want to do right now is find out, who were you dealing with? Who were you dealing with in this situation that caused all this fragmentation? Mystery, huh? That person is a mystery. Okay, well, I know what that is. You were dealing with somebody who strung you along in such a perfectly manipulative, unscrupulous way that they were leading you on, and you hadn't ever even had an actual relationship with them. Because you don't even know for sure who this person is. You don't know if anything they ever told you was true. This could be an hour long, Virgo, but I have to keep these readings at about 15 to 20 minutes if possible, in order to make make them all fair and even, all the signs get the equal amount of time from me. But the easiest way to say this and the quickest way to explain this mystery person is, you were in a relationship with someone that was not physical. It was more of an emotional relationship where they would text you some enticing text message that just kept you swooning and thinking about them and dreaming about them all day long. And then it turned into weeks. And then you didn't go look for a job because you didn't want to miss a text from them. And then you would just sit around being like on cloud 9 in love, infatuated with this person. After so long, this probably went on for several weeks, and then you just kind of fell in to this person like they had a spell on you. And when I say that, I mean they literally made you feel like you were so in love with them that it was unbelievable. You could not believe it. And you just went with it because you thought, I'm just going to let go and take this leap and just see what happens. And you've probably never done that before, Virgo, because you're very grounded. You're always grounded. You always have your feet on the ground. Your mind is always grounded. That's probably not the right way to say that to you, but your mind is always clear and focused. You know what you're doing and why all the time. And this person just threw you off balance. And they wouldn't show up if they said they were going to meet you. They would say they're going to text you, and they wouldn't text. You'd hear from them a week later, and they'd say they fell asleep and they're sorry that they couldn't text you back. And you never recognized any of that as a red flag. No red flags were seen by you. You just were like, oh, it's okay. I'm just glad you called me or texted me today, like a week or two later. You were just stupid in love is the way I want to put it, okay? And I don't mean that in a rude way. I'm just saying you were just completely oblivious to the fact that this person was not anything that you thought they were. That's who brought you into this state here where you couldn't function. If you were in a real relationship with someone, from their point of view, they would have just seen you as, my God, what is wrong with, she's like lost her mind. Where did she go? And I kind of feel like that. You may have been in a relationship where you weren't real happy, but it was a solid relationship. It just may not have been a great emotionally satisfying relationship.